Let's put it on the table. I want to salute each and every one coming out on such a beautiful day to let Brother Manning know that we love him, we respect him, we will not forget him, and we're part of the same movement trying to tell the truth and promote justice that he is. Let the word go forth from here to forth. Thanks, Sister Emma, Brother Nathan, and my God, Brother Chris Hedges. He and I have been at it for decades now. We drove down early this morning. We're going back as soon as we finish, back to New Jersey, just as we did the first day of the Manning trial. Got up 3 o'clock in the morning, didn't we? Picked him up at his crib, but we were on our way. We do the same thing we're doing now. It has everything to do with the fundamental questions that the great W.B. Du Bois raised when he was 89 years old. At the very end of his life, he said, these are the queries I've been wrestling with. The first one is, how does integrity face oppression? He says, how does honesty face deception? How does decency face insult? How shall virtue face brute force? This is in his novel called The Ordeal of Mansour, 1957. He was born 1868. 89 years he's wrestling with these queries. 6 years before he began that trilogy, those 3 novels, he was in court. Handcuffed. February 1951 for what? Aiding the enemy. The great W.E.B. Du Bois, aiding the enemy. No, he said, I'm wrestling with how can I preserve integrity, decency, honesty, and sense of virtue in such a cold and cruel world ruled by indifferent oligarchs and plutocrats who will go to any and any means for their gain, for their profit, in the face of precious human beings, no matter what color, no matter what country, no matter what orientation, or no matter what civilization. Oh yeah, that's the tradition that we're talking about. That's why I'm glad to be in the Quaker House. Oh yeah, I'm glad to be in the Quaker House. Like our Vice President, like our Secretary of State, and Secretary of Defense. A lot of people accuse me and Brother Chris, oh, you're obsessed with criticizing the president. No, not at all. We're trying to tell the truth. Wherever it falls, let it fall. No matter what color, no matter what class, no matter what sexual orientation, whose side are you on? That's the question. What are the lens through which you look at the world? Brother Bradley Manning says, I want to look at the world through the lens of those transphenomenal called the wretched of the earth. Du Bois said, I want to raise the issue of looking at the world through the angle of vision that has something to do with people who've been terrorized and traumatized and stigmatized for over 400 years. It may begin on the chocolate side of town. It may begin with 244 years of slavery when it was U.S. law. So for black humanity to assert ourselves as human beings, we had to break the law and reveal the hypocrisy of a nation that understood itself to be free, but we are unfree in this law. You take all that and it's not just black people, it's poor people across the board, it's working people who had organized and sacrificed and lived and died just to ensure some slice of dignity, some slice of self-determination. It has to do with sisters of all colors and this vicious patriarchy. It has to do with our precious Jewish brothers and sisters and vicious anti-Semitism. It has to do with our precious Islamic and Arabic brothers and sisters with vicious forms of demonizing Islam and demonizing their sense of what it is to be human beings with religious sensibility. Oh, yes. Our gay brothers and lesbians, sisters, bisexuals and transgender. That's just not PC chit-chat.
That's right. Come on
Oh,
now.
no. That's struggle. That's struggle on the ground with a moral substance and a spiritual content.
That's right. Preach, brother.
And that's precisely why Bradley Manning moment is so crucial. It's against the backdrop of the Supreme Court gutting the Voting Rights Act. It's against the backdrop of Brother Trayvon Martin that wants to take us back to a Dred Scott mentality where black people have no right to even be respected, their lives to be lived a dead black brother. No value even for a guilty Zimmer, the brother who was killed by a U.S. drone.
That's right.
There's a connection between George Zimmerman in Florida and U.S. drones dropping bombs on innocent, precious human beings in Somalia. Concerned about innocent folk everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's the crucial thing. It could be innocent brothers and sisters in Tel Aviv. Even given the vicious Israeli occupation. Jewish brothers and sisters in Tel Aviv still have oppressionism, and their innocent children ought not to be killed, even as they ought to set up to eliminate the occupation and allow their precious Palestinian brothers and sisters to live lives of dignity and self-determination. We have to be willing to tell the truth across the board. That's what Granny Manny is all about. That's what it's all about. And what a grand moment it is, because there is an awakening taking place. There's no doubt about it. But the challenge is going to be, can we connect the military-industrial complex with this privatizing orientation, with big money caught in, with the prison industrial complex, with legacies of white supremacy still shot so deep across the nation, with the privatizing of our public educational system, and the gentrifying of our urban chocolate cities, and then keep track of the Wall Street oligarchic complex, with 1% of the population having now 43% of the wealth, and it increasing all the day, even as our precious, not just schools, but art programs in schools totally collapsing for our precious children in inner city. What kind of future are we really talking about? That's the question that Bradley Manning raises, that connects us to him. What goes on in Pakistan, Yemen, Somalia, and Afghanistan. And yes, even Russia too. We pray for Brother Edward Snowden. We pray for the Russian government to him aside, and that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. We pray for his safety. But it won't stop me from talking about vicious Russian oligarchs. Oh, it won't stop me from talking about the suppression of liberties and rights for other folk in Russia.
Well,
because I'm not in it for popularity.
yes.
Like the boys, I just want to preserve some shiver, some spice of integrity, decency, honesty, and virtue before the worms get me or before CIA and FBI. Either way. But that's what we're talking about. That's why we're here. Thank you all for being here. Stay strong with us. you got a truncated conception of veracity.
Wow.
That's why I call Brother Bradley Manning as I do Brother Edward Snowden. Oh, they are the John Browns of our day. They are the John Browns of our day. And in the face of an escalating national security state and regiments, in the face of a massive surveillance state that represses, they want to exemplify some kind of integrity, decency, honesty. Virtue is not just an ideological or political question. It has to do with what kind of human being you're going to choose to be before the worms get you. That's the question that Brother Manny's wrestling with. And can you imagine at 19 years old, in the military, the level of courage, fortitude, determination it takes to expose and uncover the crimes, the lies, the treachery, the chicanery of the U.S. government as it tells the world that we are the grand examples of liberty. Oh, yes. The man is no ordinary brother, but in many ways he's an extension of us at our best. And not just us. An extension of the brothers and sisters in Latin America, in Pakistan, in Yemen, in Somalia, in Europe, in New York, in Chicago. Somebody who's willing to straighten their backs up at any time, even one courageous person straightening their backs up. Folk are going somewhere because the oligarchs can't ride your back unless it's big.
Come on now.
So long we've had so many bent backs. Like our congressmen and women.
As a journalist, what frightens me, terrifies me about what's happening in this country is that all capacity to shine a light on the inner workings of power are being systematically shut down, and Manny is a part of this process. When you put the pieces of this puzzle together, we are rapidly closing all space and becoming a frightening species of corporate totalitarianism, the Stasi state, and I covered the Stasi state as a correspondent on steroids. Barack Obama's assault on civil liberties is far more egregious than the assault of his predecessor, George W. Bush. In a case in the Southern District Court of New York, Judge Catherine Forrest, and you should read her 112-page opinion on her ruling when she ruled this section unconstitutional, because it is an explication of the destruction of the separation of powers. She actually brings up the plight of the 110,000 Japanese Americans who were stripped of due process and interned during World War II in camps, and she says, in her opinion correctly, that in essence what this section of the NDAA does is allow the government to criminalize an entire group of people, which, let's be honest, is you and me, and the Occupy movement. The NDAA movement, the NDAA was passed, as far as I can tell, because finally the ruling elites who know both the effects of climate change and a deteriorating economy, they don't trust the police to protect them. And they want to be able to overturn 200 years of domestic law to bring the police back out into the streets, as we saw in Boston, as a kind of dress rehearsal after the Boston Marathon.